We'll take up navigating to and finding rubrics shortly, but first, let's take up what to do with a rubric once it's found, how to add a rubric to an analysis. As with most things Radar, the program offers multiple ways of doing this. I'll show you several, but we'll emphasize my favorites. Now, you can always just drag a rubric to a clipboard and drop it there. Clipboard 1 or to clipboard 2. And this is fine, but I find that it interrupts my workflow by forcing me to go back and forth between the keyboard and the mouse or trackpad. And the whole purpose of this software really is to free up my time so that I can focus on the human tasks of being a homeopath. I choose to use the software as efficiently as possible, so I rarely use the drag and drop option in my own work. You can use the take command in the application menu, which permits you to designate the intensity of the rubric in the analysis, reflecting underlining in the case, using the standard scheme of 1 through 4 underlines. The rubric taken will be the one selected by the little hand icon in the document window. Or you can use the take dialog, which offers a bewildering array of options. I use this occasionally, and we'll come back to it later in the contexts where I find it useful. But routinely, I use some simple and quick keyboard commands to collect rubrics. The plus key on your keyboard is the key to this, and there are a few features here to be familiar with. With the rubric selected by the pointing hand icon, pressing the equals plus key without holding the shift key down will instantly add the rubric to the default clipboard at an intensity of 1. If you hold the shift key down while pressing the plus key, you'll see a dialog box. Now, just clicking the take button, or easier, pressing the return key without doing anything else, will add to the default clipboard just as before. But there are some other things you can do with this dialog box. Try these things individually or in combination. Click again Shift plus, that is, hold the Shift key down and press the plus key, and type a number from 0 to 9 to select an intensity for this rubric in your analysis, and now press Return. In practice, intensities are usually chosen from 1 to 3, with a rare 4 to represent the underlining of symptoms in a case. A rubric might be added in an intensity of 0. If you wish to view it in the analysis but not have it count in the analysis calculations. You might do this, for example, with a Gagin symptom. Intensities determine how strongly any particular rubric will affect an analysis and are essential for using the Vitolka's expert system in its intended manner. Let's pick another rubric, Shift plus, and type a number for intensity, for example, a 1, followed by any lowercase letter. It has to be a lowercase letter. Now, the number will determine the intensity, as before, but the letter will define a group to which the rubric will be added. Other rubrics later added with the same lowercase letter would be collected together and treated as if they were combined. Now, we'll talk about combining rubrics in detail in a later tutorial. I just wanted to give you this little pearl now. If you just want to use the default intensity, which would be 1, you could type that lowercase letter twice and have the same result. Now, I'm not sure why this doesn't work by just typing the letter once without a preceding number or without requiring the letter twice, but that's how it is. It's now a reported issue, and hopefully this can be fixed. Now, recall that rubrics added using the take menu or using the plus key keyboard shortcut will be added to the default clipboard. Here to clipboard 1, the one with a little green check on it. This will usually be the first clipboard. But the default clipboard can be changed, as I described in the Working with Clipboards tutorial, either from a clipboard contextual menu, here, okay, set as default, or from a simple Alt-click on the intended clipboard. But without changing the default clipboard, there's a simple way to direct a chosen rubric to any clipboard of your choosing. So we'll pick a rubric here, click Shift+, and type a greater than sign, which looks like a little arrowhead pointing to the right, and then a number to represent the clipboard number that you're intending to send this rubric to. Here, typing a greater than and a 3, see how that looks like a little arrowhead pointing to 3, will send the rubric to clipboard number 3. I'll press return, and it's now added to this clipboard. Now, you can use these commands in combination, but pay attention to their order. Intensity should go first. Then, if you wish to group rubrics, the lowercase letter that you'll use to define that group, and then direct to a clipboard if you're wishing to do that in that order. Now let's look at this Shift+ dialog box again. Note that there's an Options drop-down menu here. And we can click on this, and this offers that nearly bewildering array of options for how and where to add the rubric to the analysis. There are times that you might want to access some of these options, but let's return to core daily tasks and take some of these up later on. Now, if I open my clipboards, do that by clicking on them, and remember to open up more than one clipboard, I use the multiple selection key specific to my operating system. If it's a Windows system, I'll hold down Control, okay, and click on the additional clipboards. I'm using a Mac, so I'll hold down the Command key and click on my additional clipboards. Or I could right-click on any of these clipboards and select all clipboards for this analysis. Okay, so now I have my clipboards open. I can delete a rubric by right-clicking on it. Recall on a Mac, this is a control click, or the trackpad gesture you've set up for this, such as a 2-finger tap. Okay, and then from this menu, I can select delete, and I get one of those annoying dialog boxes to ask if I'm certain I wish to do this. I'm actually going to back out of it by clicking no. I can move a rubric from one clipboard to another by dragging and dropping. Note that I'll first need to click on the rubric to select it, and then move the cursor a little bit and click on it again to select it for dragging. Okay, and now I can drag it either to another position within the analysis window or to another clipboard and drop it here. And I'm going to hold down my Command key and open up that clipboard now. Okay, I can move from one clipboard to another, or I can reorder the rubrics in a clipboard here. Click on the rubric to select it. Remember, I have to move the cursor a little bit and click on it again and hold in order to drag it. And I have to wait until a black line appears. When I let go, I've moved it to that position. I can also change intensity here from the right-click menu on a rubric. Change intensity. A double click on a rubric will return to that rubric in the repertory. Note that I now have two open tabs in my document window, the repertory tab and the analysis tab. And I can go back and forth between the repertory and my analysis just by clicking on the tab at the top. I can close the analysis tab to view only the repertory using the little X icon in the analysis tab's upper right-hand corner. But I haven't lost my analysis. I can open this again using the analysis icon in the main toolbar. Okay. Or by clicking and then Control or Command clicking on the clipboards that I need to have opened for this analysis. I'll be taking up finding, searching, and navigating to rubrics and working with the analyses in subsequent tutorials. But for now, I'm hoping this gives you some good direction on how to add rubrics to an intended analysis.